To your left, if you're on this side, and in front of you, if you're on this side, we have 6 very able members who constitute the panel that will be asking questions of the presidential candidates today. I shall ask them to introduce themselves. From Ms. Ashley. Kindly tell us your name and tell us in which capacity you appear here today.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, my name is Ashley Njoroge. I'm here in the capacity of the debate chairperson in Lano. Thank you.
Good evening once again. My name is Simon Kamau. I'm the Secretary General of the Debate Club. It is in that capacity that I appear here. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Phyllis Juma. I'm in my second year, currently my second semester. I'm the organizing secretary of the Debate Society, and it is in that capacity that I appear here today.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
My name is Olo Jared, a fourth-year student. Currently, I'm Afrina's member, and in that capacity, I'm here as a member and a mass communication student.
Good afternoon. My name is Gladys Makumi. I'm in 4th year, mass communication. I'm an official in Afrina's club. In that capacity, I am here.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Anna Wegulo. I'm a second-year student of mass communication and a representative of Afrina's. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So those are our panelists for today. Apart from the presidential candidates and their running mates, who are the main attraction of this event here today, we also have other candidates vying for other positions within the council. So I think it is necessary that we allow them a minute to greet us, tell us what position they're vying for, very briefly. So if you could kindly come to the podium from Natasha, just introduce yourself, tell us what position you're gunning for before we move to the main attraction of this event.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Natasha Muli Mulwa. I am aspiring to be the next treasurer of African Nazarene University. Yes, thank you.
My name is Trofena Phoebe, the aspiring treasurer in the next coming elections. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Hi. Yeah, my name is Benson Orugendo Mwangangi, aspiring SG.
All right. I hope we are all able to hear them. So we are very behind on time, so we shall quickly move to the next segment. So at this time, we will invite the presidential candidates to give their opening statements. All right, sorry. I'm being told there was one more. I'm very sorry.
Good afternoon. Kwa majina naitwa Uching Valentine. 3.2 procurement. I'm an aspirant. SG.
Well, the beautiful thing about politics is personalities, right? We have to have different personalities. So, like I said, we are very much behind on time. So at this point, we will invite the presidential candidates to give their opening statements. Candidates, you are asked to be mindful of time. Each of you will have 3 minutes. At the end of 3 minutes, you will have to be cut short. So kindly adhere to time. For those ones who are joining us now, let me say the following, just to make sure we are all on the same page. We have agreed that we are going to observe decorum in the room. In previous editions of presidential debates, we have had unfortunate incidents where students have heckled those aspirants with whom they do not share ideologies. We have security personnel in the room, the 3 of them at the back. So I have been instructed by them to inform you that should they single you out for heckling or for causing unnecessary disturbance during the articulation of ideas by the presidential candidates, they will escort you outside. So kindly be mindful of that. No, they're not a security threat. They are here to keep order in the room. Do not heckle. Do not heckle. Do not cause unnecessary disturbance. Of course, I do not mean that we are at a graveyard. Just observe decorum and do not cause necessary disturbances. So at this point, I'll invite the first presidential candidate, Mr. Dennis Karaoke, to give his opening statements, and he shall have 3 minutes. Welcome, Mr. Dennis.
Thank you so much. My name is Dennis Karaoke, and I am a third-year student pursuing bachelor's degree in commerce. I'm specializing in finance. And this day, I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate everyone for being here to see the presidents of the future to shine, right? Yeah, so I'm here to express whatever that I have for you. I am here to represent you. I'm here to return the spirit of comradeship. Ama namna gani? Yes, so I hope my 3 minutes are over. We shall have some more advanced time when I will be explaining my manifesto, and I hope the session shall be a success. Thank you all.
Fellow students, I've never spoken before in public. It's been a long time, but my name is Derek Onsarigo Ndieki. I'm vying for the presidential seat in this year's election, 2022-2023. I hope to serve you in the best way possible. I have plans for you. We have plans for you, me and my team, and hopefully we'll be able to accomplish some, if not all. I believe there's need for change, and there are a lot of departments that we hope will effect change in the period that will be in power. Thank you very much.
Very well articulate leaders. I think I will recant my earlier statement. Our future is very bright. We have very well articulate candidates. Since the candidates have not been able to exhaust the 3 minutes allocated to them, I think it's in order if we ask their running mates, since they're on the same ticket, to spend a minute introducing themselves to us and just be very brief in the introduction of themselves so that we are familiar with the complete team. So in the order I began, I will invite Ms. Lorraine Gemelli.
Good afternoon, all. My name is Gemelli Lorraine. I'm a third-year education student. I'm majoring in Kiswahili and history, and I'm the aspiring vice president. And I believe that I and Dennis and our team, we are going to work and help each and every comrade to ensure that each and every one of you enjoys his or her life in the university, and all your needs are looked into. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Audrey Celestine, a mass communication student, and I'm vying for the seat of the vice president, and I would like to assure you that we believe, me and the president I'm standing with, and my team, we believe that we are able to manage this seat and that we will give the changes you've been desiring in the council. Thank you.
Thank you so much, our able aspiring vice presidents. It's good to note that there is gender balance on stage, that each president has a female running mate. A few instructions to the candidates as we begin with the questions now. Each candidate shall have 2 minutes to respond to a question that will be put to them by a member of the panel. The questions shall be divided into 3 sections. We're going to have a first section of general questions. Those are going to be questions which are general in nature. We're going to move to a second section, and those questions will be regarding the experience that they bring into the office. What experience do they have that informs their ambition. The final section, not the final, but the third section of the questions shall be according to their plans. What plans do they have for the time they'll be in office? Finally, we're going to open it up to the audience in the room for 30 minutes to engage with them in a question and answer session. It is during this time that I will kindly request us to go about those questions and answers in a very decent way, in a very decorum-oriented way. I'd also like, before we begin with the panelists, to recognize that we have a virtual audience on YouTube. So thank you very much for joining us. We shall also be taking questions from you during the question and answer session. At this time, I'll invite the first panelist to begin with the general section of the questions. So Mr. Jared Olo, welcome.
Hello. First and foremost, I'd like to say the community is quite disappointed. Both candidates have failed to show up on time for the event. And as you know, success and timekeeping, those are two things that go along. The other thing is the panelists as well as the Electoral Commission requested for introduction video that you guys were supposed to submit. We never received any of that, and on top of it, you guys never responded. Now, the two of you, I want you to tell the community, the student body and African Nazarene at large, how are you going to assure them that you will execute your duties accordingly, since you failed to exercise it as early as now? You have 2 minutes to respond to that.
Okay, thank you so much for that question. I will just brief you on what happened yesterday on the issue about submitting the video. So yesterday was we were to face, and we faced the vetting panel, and we were advised that from there, we should only receive instructions from the Electoral Commission. So also the manifestos, we were supposed to be submitted to the Electoral Commission. So we are expecting an official email from the Commission only. So, so I don't think it is wise to say that we have failed, but we can promise the community that we are people who follow instructions, and I am a man of protocol. Thank you.
Panelists, I think with regards to that question, failure on your side to inform us on time should not be a problem to our side. So the email came very late. Some of you guys were texting us online. I was texted by Phyllis 12:30 p.m. and it was pretty late to tell me to make a video for this event, because we had other plans and other things to do, like preparing a manifesto, also preparing to present and speak in this event. So I think that does not mean that we will not be competent enough and be able to execute the tasks that will be handed over to us when we are in office. Thank you.
So thank you so much for that response. Order in the room, thank you. So this is a general question, both of you will answer. So African Nazarene University has a population of more than 700 students. What uniquely qualifies you to be president, and consequently, what motivates you to vie for this post? Thank you.
Thank you again for that question. ANU is a school. We have many students from different cultures, from different countries, sections of this world, right? So, being a representative of the students is a very, very great task. So, my aim is servant leadership. For you to serve, thank you very much. For you to serve as required, you have to ensure that you give your all so that you fulfill to the mandate of the students. So I'm here for everyone, be it a very big number, be it 3,000, be it 5,000. I believe that I can even control, or maybe, let's avoid that word, control. Maybe I can say I can be in a position to serve. Yes, the entire of Kajiado County. Thank you very much.
Nothing makes me special than the other students, but I think the caliber of leaders that we have today in our university do not represent us the way we'd like to be represented. The previous government, so many students have complained in the way they have been executing their roles. And I think for me, what we need in our leaders is we need a president who will lead with courage and not ego, as some of the previous leaders we've had. We need a president who will bring out the best in us and not the worst, like the former SG who brought about incitement and chaos in Campus 2019. We need. I have also dedicated my time, resources, energy to serve this school.
Excuse me. Mr. Kipyegon, Mr. Onderi, kindly, let's continue the debate. There will be, listen, Gide, if you keep blowing that, we will not listen to what's going on. I know. Listen. Guys, listen. If we are all ready to calm down now. Excuse me. If we are all ready to calm down now, we are waiting on you. All right. When we began, we said that politics is a tense sport. You will withdraw it, sir. Mr. Kipyegon, Mr. Gideon, if you could calm down. All right. Let's all calm down. Let's take our seats. I will. Guys. All right. We began by saying politics is a game of tension, and I will apologize for not including this in the rules at the beginning of the debate. Do not refer to any specific individual by their names. Relax, guys. For communication to happen, you have to hear me. So I apologize for that. Inakuja, relax. Sawa. Mr. Onsarigo will be required. Listen, guys. Listen. Mr. Onsarigo will be required to withdraw the statement he's made. And I believe once he withdraws that statement, we can grant him the remaining of his time to finish his statement and move on to the next question. Guys, we are an institution of higher learning. Come on, we are live on YouTube. This is supposed to be an international university. It is not Kenya Nazarene University. This is Africa Nazarene University. This is not the kind of image that we want to sell to the world. When there has been a mistake that has been made, such as the one that has been made by Mr. Onsarigo, we will require of him in a civil manner to withdraw that statement so that we can continue with the debate. I began by saying that, listen, guys, we began by saying that there is security personnel in the room, but security cannot manhandle you because you're a student. So don't put them in a bad situation, all right? We are all grown-ups, we are all students of an institution of higher learning. Let us act like it. So Mr. Onsarigo, kindly withdraw that statement. And for all the candidates for the remainder of the debate, do not refer to anyone by their name. Do not cast aspersions. The only people required to mention anybody by name are the panelists. The presidential candidates shall not be required to do that. So, Mr. Kipyegon, kindly let's calm down. Let us continue the discourse in a calm manner.
Hey. Kipyegon. Hey. Fellow students, I withdraw the statement, but I did not make direct reference to anyone. There are so many former SGs in this campus. You are not the first SG. There are so many former SGs. And now I'll continue. So I think I withdraw the statement, but I did not refer to you as Gideon Kipyegon. There are so many SGs in this school band. There are so many SGs in this camp who have served before. And we cannot and I'll continue my statement. So I think I withdraw my statement. I will not apologize. Fellow students, I think I'm best suited to serve in this position because I think we need a president who will bring the best in us and not the worst. The likes of Kipyegon, Dominic Onderi, that is not the way a former leader should conduct themselves in such an event. Our president should put service over self. Our president I will not apologize, I withdraw. I withdraw.
You are a leader, like you know, Eric. Eric,
Sawa, sawa.
Just be calm. Wakenya now, they have, that is a scheme. That is a scheme. Just be cool enough.
Guys. Listen, Mr. Gideon Kipyegon has calmed down, so please calm down as well. Please calm down. The statement has been withdrawn. I repeat, apologies will be... Kindly, guys. This is getting out of hand, yeah? This is getting out of hand. Let's not be rowdy like that. Let's calm down. Mr. Onsarigo, continue.
I think, sorry for the commotion I've caused, but it's the nature of politics. So I think we need a president who will honor the contributions of every student. And in reference to what has just happened, I think there's nothing guaranteed about good leadership. We have to constantly look for it. We have to protect it. We have to vet the people who we are supporting for presidency so that we do not end up in scenarios that we do not like. Thank you.
Guys, come on. You're better than that, come on. Excuse me, those ones at the back, excuse me. Don't do that, come on. Don't do that, just don't do that, man, please.
Moving on to the next question. Article 11, Sub-Article 1 of the ANUSO Constitution, as amended in 2019, outlines 9 key responsibilities of the chairperson of the Student Council. Without referring anywhere, kindly name at least 5 to give the students confidence that you have read the job description.
Mr. Dennis.
Thank you very much. As a president, we have around 7 roles. 7. And I will just mention 5 as told. Okay, thank you. So, role number 1, you have to be the spokesperson of the entire students' body. You have to be the spokesperson of the student council itself and the entire student organization. That is point number 1. Point number 2, you have to act as the signatory to all the financial transactions. Thank you. Number 3, you have to chair all the meetings that are held by the student council. That is point number 3. Number 4, you have to chair the executive committees inside the student council again. And lastly, one last role of the president is to represent the students body in the senatorial meetings. Thank you very much.
I think we should have different questions for different persons.
It's a general question.
It's a general question. So I think the chairperson chairs all the meetings of the student council. He reports to the dean of students concerning student welfare. He represents the students in everything concerning students. I'm the chief representative of the students. I'm a signatory to all financial transactions that pertain to the student council, the ANUSO of money. I'm also, I represent, I'll repeat that, thank you.
I'm being informed by the head of security that if you get in the, I don't know how to explain that in polite English. If you become too much of an unnecessary disturbance, you will be guided out. Kindly, it is not wrong to show your support for your preferred candidate when they are speaking. You are well within your rights to do that. You can blow whistles, you can blow a vuvuzela, you can shout. That is well within your rights. What you do not do, however, is heckle another person. The people in the audience do not directly confront one another. The debate is not between you. The debate is between the two gentlemen on stage, and they are being very civilized about the way they are putting their points across. So you, as a supporter to them, like, it beats any humanly imaginable reason why you would be the one confronting people and they are being so calm on stage next to each other. Let me also remind us that we are live on YouTube. We can't stress this point enough. That's not the image we want to cut. Please. So, panelists, next question, please.
Thank you for that, Mr. Salaton. The next question. A great leader is not only aware of his strengths, but also mindful of his weaknesses and limitations. So against this background, what is the one flaw within yourself that you'll have to keep at bay during your time in office?
Mr. Dennis.
Thank you very much for that question. I believe in one thing, and I can confirm to everyone that there is this thing that exists. We call it human error. Every human being is prone to make mistakes. Every human being has weaknesses. Every human being has his or her own strengths. So, according to me, I know that I have my own strengths, and I will use all my strengths to ensure that I deliver and I bring the service to all students. So, in that regard, I also have my own flaws. So, there is something that we call control, mind control, right? So, yes, it's called wisdom, thank you. So, I can say, sometimes you might get angry, sometimes you might get overexcited, sometimes something might drive you to doing the most crazy things ever. But it is always wise to always act like a leader, to always calm down and be in control. So, that is who I am. Thank you.
I think all of us, all human beings, we are by nature flawed, and we can never be perfect. So I think for me, I'm poor at time management a bit, and something that I'll work on, because for a person who thinks a lot, time management is kind of a flaw. Yeah, thank you.
That's okay. So the final question in the general section, panelists.
Good evening once again, Mr. Derek and Dennis. The other question is, assuming you're privy to the structure of the African Nazarene University with respect to the composition of students, what do the words diversity and inclusion mean to you? Describe your experience creating an environment where all involved feel safe, welcomed, supported, included, and valued by the institution and each other. Thank you.
So I'm being informed some members of the audience would like to see Mr. Derek answer the question first, since Mr. Dennis has been answering from the beginning.
Pardon the question, please.
Assuming you are privy to the structure of the African Nazarene University with respect to the composition of students, what do the words diversity and inclusion mean to you? Describe your experience creating an environment where all feel safe, welcomed, supported, included, and valued by the institution and each other.
African Nazarene being a very diverse university, we even have international students. I think one of the things that to make this thing to institutionalize the way, to make it a custom to include all the students, especially in the student council. Previously, we've had people say that the previous student council was not ethnically diverse. And I think one of the things that we'll do as a council, we are not going to nominate people to serve as directors. We're going to send an email to all students to apply to serve, and we'll vet them. We'll form a vetting panel where we'll vet all students, and those students will be given a fair chance to serve in the student council, unlike the previous times. So I think the culture in which a president only nominates the people who he has been working with or she has been working with, the strategists, is not going to work with me and my council. We are going to send an email, and all students will be given a fair chance. And I think that's one of the ways in which we'll ensure there's diversity and inclusion, and everyone will feel a student of African Nazarene University. Thank you.
Mr. Dennis.
Okay, thank you. As far as inclusion and diversity is concerned, I'll just say that diversity. African Nazarene is a diverse institution. We have, the first time that I joined this institution, I signed up for an international and a private institution. So international can tell you a lot. International means that you are going to find people of different cultures, different countries and all that, and so on, right? So, diversity, it is all about ensuring that all students are treated equally. Nobody is here, nobody is better than the other, okay? So, we have some times when you find that maybe we have international students, they have something they are doing, yeah, basketball and all that, you know. Maybe we have another, let's say another club, they also have something. So there will always be those ones that will be given more priority over others. So as a president, I will ensure that we will all be treated equally as students of African Nazarene University. Thank you.
That brings us to the end of the first section of questioning. For those ones joining us now, we had indicated that the questioning will be divided into 3 sections. First will be the general section, second will be the experience section, and finally, the third section where they talk to us about their plans. I'd like to thank the candidates for keeping time. Let's continue keeping the decorum. We'll now invite the panelists to begin section number 2 with Ms. Anna beginning the questioning.
Okay. Okay, this goes to both candidates. Under experience, with what other leadership positions have you held, including but not limited to African Nazarene University? And how are they relevant to the scope of responsibilities of the office that you are seeking?
So we'll begin with Mr. Onsarigo again.
I bring a ton of experience to this position. I'll name just a few of the leadership roles that I've held in the campus. I'm the current taekwondo captain of the school team, and everyone can attest to the fact that the taekwondo team is one of the best teams we have. All sports we have on campus, we have performed exemplary well, excluding this semester in which I'm now vying, so I've not been training my team. And also, I'm serving as the vice chair of the mentorship board, and the experience I've gained in the mentorship board is something that I'd like to see, that I'd like to implement as a leader in the student council. And I think most of you, I think you've seen some of the events we've organized, like the movie night for the first years. There are things that we are going to institutionalize, like Frasers Night, but in a way that mirrors the ideas that we hold dear as a university. So far, those are the two roles that I've held, and I think the experience I've gained is enough to serve in this council.
Mr. Onsarigo, you have 46 seconds on your clock, so I'll exercise my discretion to ask you to elaborate on positions you have held outside of Nazarene, not just within the campus. You've laid out very well the positions you've held within the school. So are there any other leadership positions you've held outside of the school?
No, I've not held any other leadership. I don't see that as much as of relevance to this position. Thank you.
So, Mr. Dennis, and kindly, Mr. Dennis, so that I don't have to interrupt again, inside Nazarene and outside Nazarene. Welcome.
Thank you very much. So I will start with my leadership position that I have earned here inside Nazarene. And I can say I have only earned only 2 positions. And one, I am serving as the chairman of the YCS group at African Nazarene University. Point number 2, I was a delegate last year. That was also a leadership position, right? And point number 3, I can say that sometimes to be a leader, you don't have to be certified. Yeah, you don't have to have a certificate. So I've always been a leader since I joined this school. So outside, I can say that I've already served as a missioner in my area church. I was sent and I went to spread the word, and I led that committee as the coordinator. And number 2, I am chairman of a youth group from my own area. And lastly, I've served diligently in the school, in my high school. Yeah, so that is all. Thank you.
So, Mr. Dennis, this next question you'll go first in answering so that we keep the alternation going. So, second question on, is it the second or third? Second question on experience from the panelists.
Okay. Second question. These are different questions for both of you, but very specific. So I'll start with, Dennis. Mr. Dennis Kariuki. In the last academic semester, there was a motion to impeach the outgoing regime. Allegations are said to be that the petition named you, Mr. Dennis Kariuki, as having been in coalition with the former Mr. President, Mr. Obed Nyabuto. So, the allegation was that you both wanted to defraud the student council for monies. So the question is, can you assure the students that you are credible enough with the stain that is already in your resume?
Guys, no, Pete, let's not refer to one another. Let us not refer to one another directly. Mr. Dennis, would you like to answer the question, or would you like for the petition to be shown to you first? Guys, he's a leader, he's capable of handling the situation himself. The discretion is with him.
Uh, oh, thank you very much. At this juncture, I can say that there is something that we said here that we should not mention names, right? But according to that situation, I'm forced to do so. But since I don't have to, I will just say that all the allegations against me in that petition, they were all lies, okay? So do not believe everything that is told here in the public. Just go deep into the truth, right? So I can say that maybe you want to confirm the entire story, right? You can just approach me directly, because this is not a good and a perfect platform to discuss such situations. There was a case, yeah. There was a case, and here, there was a petition written by the African Nazarene Student Organization. They were aiming towards the dissolution of the Student Council of the African Nazarene University. And they also were the petitioners, and the Student Council was the respondents. So I'm not the only one who drafted all this. These are, how many pages are here? Eh? Around 10. All these are allegations. So we also have witnesses. Yeah? And there was a verdict that was given by the tribunal. And the verdict was yeah. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. So, thank you. I just request the moderators to add me just at least 1 minute, right, to define and express this. So, this is the verdict itself, and I just go direct to point number 4, and I will read: having considered the concerns raised against the individual members of the Student Council under Article 22, 4 and 8 of the Annual Constitution, the following is hereby directed that the Director of Social Affairs, Brian Okunda, ceases to serve the Student Council. Number 2, the Chairperson, Oben Nyabuto, and Secretary General, Fraxad Ogato, are relinquished of the executive responsibilities and privileges of the Student Council until they are cleared in accordance with the Student Code of Conduct. Number 3, pursuant to Article 11, Chapter 5 of the Annual Constitution, Vanessa Chetamba, the Vice Chairperson, will assume the responsibility of the chair subsequent meetings of the Student Council and the Executive Committee. Point number 4, in discharge of its duty
after voting, they become, I may say, useless because they are neglected. There's no payment for delegates, and it is evident even in this election that many of the people, we had fewer delegates applying. Even there was no much competition. Like in a course like community development, we only had 3 delegates and they qualified by default. So I think what we'll do as a council, what I'll do, me and my team, the current constitution is expiring. I can confirm that from the Dean's office. The current constitution is expiring, and if there'll be amendments afterwards, we'll ensure that we have a student parliament, a parliament that will advocate for students' welfare from various departments, because we have every course has a delegate, and the delegates will be able to speak out the issues that they face. For example, the criminology department, so far, we'd like to have an association, Criminology Students Association, an association that will advocate for our needs. We want to resemble the LANU, which is the most active association we have currently on campus. We want to organize our own workshops. We want to create, we want to invite speakers, experts in the field of criminology. Yes, and also I think since my deputy is from mass communication, she has also aired the same views that they need to revamp their course, as in Afrinas has not been active. In fact, it is only active today because we are having a presidential debate. Thank you.
So I believe everyone had the clock. So we are going to add Mr. Dennis 30 seconds as well. Since Mr. Onsarigo, you've gone 30 seconds overboard. Question, please.
Mr. Dennis, kindly step forward. Thank you. As per your manifesto, in matters to do with security, you've talked about working together with the county government. Year in, year out, students have been mugged, and every regime has always promised that. You've been in the student council the previous year, right? Now, are you aware of the limits, as a student council or as a president? Or can you tell us the reason as to why those who were there before have never worked with the county government to ensure that the students are secure?
Thank you for that question. First of all, I would like to confirm that I was not in the previous government. I was a delegate. And number 2, in my manifesto, point number 13, section 13, that is, I have articulated around security matters. I believe nobody is supposed to be joking around when it comes to the student security. Nobody, no one. So, we have had attacks, okay, mugging here and there. So, in my manifesto, I have articulated around a point whereby I shall be working with the county government. First of all, I can confirm and say that I have already made some discussions with the deputy governor of the Kajiado County. Yeah, Mr. Martin Moshisho. And through those discussions, Mr. Martin Moshisho is ready to support us as the students of African Nazarene University. So, I believe that the reason why in the previous councils we have never found maybe that vibrant council to represent us, maybe to go for to take those allegations to the county government. The reason why it is because they are not connected enough. That is the main reason. And at this time of the year, we are in the time of elections, I believe so, right? So this is the opportunity. They are campaigning, saying that we are going to construct roads. We are going to ensure that your security is convinced and all that. So I will use this opportunity to use these aspiring members of parliament, the county women rep, and the governor himself. And also, just like I have stated, I'm already in discussions. So I believe that working with the county government will give me an opportunity to execute and to ensure that we have street lights installed from the school, the university, to Mana, or maybe from here to Masai Lodge. Thank you very much.
Before you sit down, before you sit, it's quite clear you have a well-articulated plan, but at the same time, it will be wrong for me to just accept whatever you're giving us as the entire truth, right? Now, in your discussion with the deputy, is it the outgoing or the aspiring? Because it's quite two stories you're giving us. Can you articulate exactly who you're working with?
Okay, Mr. Martin Moshisho is the current DG, right? Other aspirants on my list. So, what does that tell you? That it is not only the existing ones, but also the incoming ones. Thank you.
All right, just a brief communication to the running mates. If your candidate leaves more than 40 seconds on the clock after speaking, you are free to articulate the point they were articulating for them, since you're on the same ticket. But only if your candidate leaves 40 seconds on the clock, not 40 minutes, 40 seconds. So panelists, next question.
Next question is for Mr. Derek. Please step forward. Now, in your manifesto, you've alluded that you will guarantee 98% of student internship positions for the student of NU. Now, most of the people who have been able to apply or even go for interview for internships, we find that most people experience difficulties. How realistic do you think this is, the 98% transition, given that even the career department or the career office of the school has not been able to achieve this kind of percentage or this kind of transition? I mean, it's a higher percentage.
I think you misunderstood the statement. I said we'll ensure at least 98% of the students get their internships on time before graduation. Ensuring at least means we'll try and increase the number of students who are getting internships. And I think the current problem we have right now that I seek to solve is currently the students are left on themselves to look for internships in various corporations and institutions. And what I had in mind is, me and my team, is we need to form partnerships with institutions like the KRA and maybe for criminology students, Kenya Revenue Authority, Kenya Airports Authority, the DCI. Once we have these internships, it will be assured that our students, once they are done with their third year in campus, they'll be able to get internships because we'll form partnerships that will ensure students get these internships. So it's not a guarantee that we'll ensure all 98% of the students will get internships, but we'll at least try and increase the number of students getting internships before graduation. And that is through partnering with these institutions that offer internship opportunities.
So Mr. Derek has 1 minute left on the clock. So Ms. Audrey, would you like to chip in?
Okay, thank you. To clarify on that point, we didn't say that we will create internship positions for the students. We say that we will help them to get internships. Like we have organizations giving out advertising positions for internships. Like last year, there was an Media Council of Kenya was giving out, was placing people on internships. So what we are going to do as a council, we are going to work with the careers office to make sure that the communication on available internships will reach all the students. Like last year, there was the communication on email, but as we know, many students don't read their emails. So we will try to reach out more to the students to help them know that there are positions for internships. Thank you.
Question from Mr. Dennis. Step. Okay. In your manifesto, I think in section 2 of your manifesto, you've talked of construction of a swimming pool. Now, my main concern is the school does not have enough water dispensers, just to mention. The school, as aforementioned, is undergoing through tough financial times as per the situation. How can you assure us that you will deliver swimming pool as well as the resting areas, as well as the changing areas that you have stated in your manifestos?
Thank you so much for that question. Yes, as students, when you come to campus, you only have one maybe aspiration. I can say I want to come out of campus having enjoyed enough that I can even tell my kids that I went to this school and I really enjoyed. There was a swimming pool, there was this, there was that. So you have said that the school has not been in a position even to execute the other plans, right? Including the water dispensers and all that, right?
Plans that the school has, they have not been able to attain to it. So what assurance are you giving us that they can be able to achieve this bigger plan than the other small plans?
Okay, now that is very simple. Do you know why? We are all paying fees. We are all paying fees. So in that fees, there is that activity fee. There is the activity fee and there is a NUSO fees. So the activity fee, maybe I can say it is not used to the maximum to facilitate all those needs of the students, right? And also when you go to the NUSO fees, every student in this university contributes 500 shillings every semester, right? So assuming we are 4,000 students times 500, how much is that? Yes? That is a lot of money. So using that kind of an amount, we can, maybe there is, I hear that 20% is used for associate, but the rest of the 80 is used to execute all the plans that we have. So I'm going to use this money, the NUSO fees, to ensure that I facilitate such activities. So not only that, that might not be enough, right? But I'm also looking forward to work with other organizations. I was accompanied by one of my friends, and we are in a position to get an invitation, and I share the email to you, to Bamburi Cement. So we are in agreements with them. We are going to ensure that we are going to present the needs of the students and know how we are going to assist one another, right? Yeah, we have also okay. My time, I can say my time is up, but I will explain more. Thank you. Okay.
There's a follow-up question.
This is a follow-up question.
Okay.
Is this a short-term or a long-term plan? And if it is, we have talked about activity fee, right?
Yeah.
So do we hold all the activities that we are going to have because you're going to use that money to build a swimming pool?
Okay. The activity fee is managed fully by the finance office. So as a student council, we have no power to touch that kind of an amount. And that doesn't mean that the activities that happen in school are going to be closed down. Things will continue normally. Okay? Yes.
So, Mr. Dennis, maybe just a follow-up question. You can have your seat as I put the question to you. And Mr. Dennis, you can answer this question as well. These are good plans, these are robust plans, and I agree with you that the student experience should be more than just about academic empowerment. It's good to see some of the previous leaders in the building, so maybe they'll agree with me when I say that the government is a terrible business partner. So part of the money that, and most of us are government-sponsored students, we should note that a higher percentage of the students of African Nazarene University expects financial support from the government. One of the reasons that the administration gave when the previous administration engaged them on fee increment was that the government takes long to disseminate the money that is supposed to disseminate per student. So Mr. Dennis, with that in mind, and Mr. Dennis and Mr. Derek, with that in mind, do you really think it is good to plan for that money before you have received it, since the government, even as we currently stand, has not disseminated some of the funds that they're supposed to have disseminated for the continuing students before we even have the next intake in September? Okay.
So, thank you for that question. I can say that the reason why we have manifestos, it is because we are planning for the future, right? So, there is no way that you can have things executed if you don't have a strategic plan. So, these plans, it is just acting as a guide. When I get there, what do I do next? So we are going to go back to the guides, and you are going to follow it to the latter. Yeah, thank you.
Fellow students, for us, me and my team, these are questions that we have already asked ourselves, and we have already found answers for them. And I don't think we are going to give out promises that we are going to build swimming pools and do some things that they are not realistic, like lighting the streets, because because I can tell you for sure the money that we have as a school, the power of the president, the president does not control the money that is in the student council. That money, as much as I'm a signatory to the money is accounted for, and so everything that we propose is vetted before the money is released to for any project that we pitch. So we are not going to promise students things that are not realistic, for sure. So for me, yeah, we'll have to first the council before we plan these things.
All right, so 2 more questions, and in the interest of time, I'll have to ask you, since there is 30 minutes of your time that has been accounted for in the program, the chair of the Electoral Commission is asking whether the students would like to hear the Secretary General speak. So we'll have 2 choices to make. Do we extend the time that will be here so that we allow them an opportunity to talk? Or do we divide the time that we had allocated for question and answers? All right. So we are going to do this the parliamentary ways. So as many as are of the opinion that we extend the time that will be here so that we listen to the Secretary Generals and Treasurers, say aye. And as many as are of the opinion that we do not extend our time here, say nay. Aye, so the ayes have it. So we'll extend. I hope Afrinas, that's okay. I hope that's okay with the Afrinas team, that we'll extend for an additional 30 minutes so that we listen, because we will not have another opportunity to listen to the people vying for treasurer, to the people vying for secretary generals. So we will add 30 minutes for them after the question and answer session so that we listen to them. Sawa sawa. So the panelists, question number 4 of the third section, that's the second last question, so that we turn it over to you. Keep in mind that students, since it's 30 minutes of your time for question and answer, and we're giving them 2 minutes each to respond to the questions, and obviously because of the miscellaneous of time asking, I know you people will have long questions, so we are going to give 10 questions each, 5 on this side, 5 on this side. I hope that's okay, and I hope we'll do that in a very civil way. So panelists.
Please step forward. We all know that Lockdown Browser is privately owned. It's a software that is privately owned. So in your manifesto, you've promised to actually improve the functionality for online students. So tell us, how do you propose to do this given that it is actually privately owned?
The Lockdown Browser, as much as it's privately owned, it belongs to someone, so it has been they have been contracted, or they have given us on a contract to use it. So if the browser is not functioning optimally, I think it should be done away with. The reason why I wrote that in my manifesto is because so many students were flagged the previous semester, and some of the students were, I'm told some of the students who were suspended for flagging. I was flagged also. But I was flagged and I was given a stern warning. I appeared in the disciplinary committee, and I explained myself. I told them the system is flawed and I should not be punished for their failure in their side. So I think I don't think students should be punished or deny their results because the Lockdown Browser is not functioning optimally. Initially, the browser will warn you if your face is not recognizable, but this time around it did not warn me, so my face was dark all through, and the allegations against me were that I was cheating, and I was not cheating. Thank you.
So just a clarification, there were 4 questions remaining, 2 for Derek and 2 for Dennis. So now we have 2 questions left for Dennis and 1 for Derek. So Dennis.
Mic check 1, 2. Okay, thank you. Dennis, your team is called the Nazens, right? Nazens, I'm right. So in your section 10 of your manifesto, you have a proposal for funding ASOSI so that you can be able to finance more students for ASOSI. And from Natasha's manifesto, I don't know whether you belong to the same team, you have the same ideas. Do you have any other supplementary, maybe original ideas of how you're going to fund ASOSI apart from the half marathon, sale of t-shirts, any other plan on how you're going to fund ASOSI? Thank you.
Yes, I do. In chapter 10 of my manifesto, it is all about the ASOSI promotion, and I'm looking forward to introduce the ASOSI dinner. And the main aim of introducing such platforms is only one: attracting more donors to come and fund the initiative. Yes.
So Dennis, just a minute, the ASOSI dinner is there already. So what special thing are you going to do with the ASOSI dinner?
Okay, the only special thing that I will do, there is something that we call reaching out to the world. So it is all about inviting every organization and calling for all We have leaders in the government. We have leaders in big companies. So it is all about reaching out to all those big companies and making the number to become bigger and much greater. Yeah. So I'm going to ensure that the student council has the best and the biggest associate dinner that we have ever experienced in Nazareth University. Thank you.
Okay, my question goes to Derek. It is common knowledge that the school is experiencing challenging physical environments. In your manifesto, you have indicated that ASOSI will increase the percentage of beneficiaries from 75% to 95%. In these turbulent financial times, what is your plan for extra funding?
ASOSI, in this year's allocation for ASOSI, I inquired from the current student council. The money was 1.2 million that was disbursed to many students. So, but I think the number of students that were given the money is not proportionate to the money that was being disbursed. As in, can you explain how you distribute 1.2 million shillings to 100 students? I think every student should receive like 100,000 or 50,000, 20,000 at least. So my plan was, my plan was to increase the number of students getting ASOSI, and ASOSI is a scholarship that is offered to needy students, but everyone should apply. Everyone can apply. What we'll do is sensitization and make it known to students that there's ASOSI and they should apply if they need the money. So, yeah, that's all. Thank you.
To bridge that gap, to make it smaller or even reduce it completely.
Thank you so much for that question. If you look at my manifesto, section number 1, it talks about and articulates around lobbying for the creation of a new student-centered website. Okay, and in this website there is a section that is written the student council, and I quote that all communications shall be done here, updates and any other relevant information. And under this section there shall be 2 other subsections. There will be the Congress and the Student Forum. So under the Congress section, I've said that the Speaker of the Congress shall be mandated to share any information from the Congress, which includes parliamentary proceedings, discussions by various coast representatives who are the delegates. And under the Student Forum, all students in the entire university shall have the access to make comments, number 1, offer sound suggestions, number 2, complain where necessary, number 3, prayer request, number 4, sharing ideas, number 5, recommendations, number 6, and maybe chatting as number 7. So, being the link between the student council and the administration, it is already proven as a point from the previous councils, not only in this university, but also in other universities, that the administration will never work together with the students. So, I am here to assure you that I'm going to do my best to ensure that that theme is never applies here in this school, okay? So, via introducing this website, I will ensure that every student is in a position to make such comments. Maybe I've experienced this myself. Maybe sometimes you may have some situations in school. Maybe you have, maybe there is a student that has been bugged or such, yeah, maybe. And then you might find students complaining in such WhatsApp platforms. And sometimes we might act aggressive, right? So it should be allowed that all students should be given that opportunity to express their feelings. So in this website, you are just going to collectively take all those recommendations and discuss it in the Congress, and then after that, we present it to the Dean of Students, and we are going to get the conclusion concerning the matters that are raised by the students. Thank you.
Right, so we'll add Mr. Derek 1 extra minute as well. So the panel can put the question to him. Mr. Derek, kindly try to remain within 3 minutes.
Pardon the question.
Hello? The question is about the gap that exists between the administration and the student council. Now, how are you going to bridge that gap between the two bodies?
First, I don't think there's a gap between the council, the students, and the administration. What is there is a notion that the administration is against the students, especially the dean's office, the deans of students' office, and that the dean of students' office is against everything that the council is proposing to the dean's office. But I'll assure that the deans and the administration in general cares about the students and wants the best for us. So one of the things I think we need to debunk is this notion that the students' dean's office is against us. And most of the students feel like they are not included. They are excluded in the running of the school, and they do not feel the connection with the dean's office and the student council. And one of the things that we'll do, me and my team, is we'll be conducting surveys, like through Google Forms, for students to express their views, like what you did as the panel. I saw a survey on what should be included in this debate. And also I'll ensure that I personally, my phone number will be in public domain for the students to contact me anytime they have a pressing issue. Also, there will be effective communication always from my council to the students. Thank you.
How many minutes? 1 minute.
All right, as we had previously said, pardon me, if a candidate leaves more than 40 seconds on the clock, we shall invite the running mate to also speak to the same question. So, Ms. Audrey. Mr. Derek has left 1 minute on the clock. I'm being instructed that way by the timekeeper. So we shall allow Ms. Audrey 1 minute.
Thank you. So about the point between the gap between the administration and the student council, as my president has said, it is a notion, and it comes between what is happening in the student council and the students. If we have any meetings with the administration, we'll make sure to convey to the students. As it is right now, we don't know what's going on in the student council. We are not informed of their meetings with the Senate or any meetings whatsoever. So we will try to bridge that gap by communicating everything. And also, there's the issue of the first years and second years. I've been speaking with a few today, and they are communicating that they feel left out in the school in general. As we know, they came in during the COVID era and they were inducted online. So we will try to involve our first years and second years by having meetings with them and the administration, and try more to incorporate them. By some of them are even telling me they don't know about the rules and regulations in the school. So what we'll do is, as my president has said, we will effect our communications and make sure that we convey to the students everything that's going on in the student council. Thank you.
All right, so the final question, I believe, from the panelists, so that we move to the question and answer session with the students. Like I mentioned earlier, we'll have 5 questions on this side. We'll have 5 questions on this side. We will, if you're given the opportunity to ask a question, there'll be a mic going around. Keep your question very precise, because we don't want the candidates not to be able to know what they're responding to. Keep your question precise, be on point. Those guys at the back, please kindly, let us maintain a bit of quiet, even as we take pictures, so that there is silence in the room venye kulikuwa na silence the previous time when the head of security was around. So panelists, please.
The last question is general to both candidates. Should you be elected as president of the African Nazarene University, will you ever consider, in the course of your presidency, a strike or rather demonstration as the only recourse should any discussions of essence to the interests of the students fail, which unless acted upon may be irreversibly detrimental to the interests of the students?
I believe in change driven by the people, and for the people is the change that is sustainable. And for the students who love history and read history books, revolutions, most of the revolutions that have happened in the world and that have brought change have all been driven by people. And I'll say, for example, the Arab Spring Revolution that took place in between 2008 and 2012. It was change that was driven by the people, and the change was about the system of governance, especially in the Arab countries. And the people wanted change. They wanted to do away with the way the countries were being managed under the Sharia law. So I think for me, the right to protest and demonstrate is something that is important, and we cannot do away with it. But I think it needs to be used in a way that is rightful. We cannot just go on the streets, block traffic, and go around chanting slogans that do not make sense without a purpose. Yeah, if we are going to demonstrate, we must demonstrate with a purpose and a goal, and it must be something that is credible. For example, going on the streets demonstrating that we have poor roads, it's our right, we should demonstrate. But do you think we'll have the governor come down here and repair the roads? I don't think so. I think the best way forward, as the student council, as the president of the council, if I'll be one, I'll team up with the administration. I'm sure if I write an email to the office of the governor, he will not respond to me, or he will maybe ignore the email. But if the VC or the deans, Dr. Boyo writes an email to the governor, he will surely respond. So for me, I'll team up these alternatives before we reach the decision to go on the streets. So these alternatives, like first having negotiations, pitching our ideas and what we want before going on the streets, is the best way forward. But demonstrating only applies when the person who's in power is tough-headed and needs to be removed by force, by fire.
All right. So Mr. Dennis, the same question, I believe, and you will have an extra 30 seconds as well to answer, so you'll have 2 minutes and 30 seconds in total.
Thank you so much. In that concern about calling people or maybe students for a strike, I don't think that is a problem for me. That is not a problem for me. It is already written in the Constitution of Kenya that I think it is Article 35. It is a right already. So if you are a student, we are all students, we have a right to demonstrate. But it is quoted peaceful demonstration when necessary, right? So, yes. So, what I'm saying is, before we find ourselves in such a situation of going for a strike or maybe a demonstration, it is always wise, as a wise man, to always find the best solutions before going to that option of the strike, right? Yeah, so if you allow me to use Kiswahili, just allow me. Yeah, allow me to. Tukijipata, tumengangana kabisa, ile ya kabisa. Tumengangana ile yetu yote. Na sasa tumeona ni wakati sasa wa kwenda strike. Now, this is when we are returning the spirit of comradeship, right? Because if you look at the history of universities in the past, there is something we call comrades power. What is power? What is power? Is it just saying power? No, not only power. So, power means that we are here. Power is something that we call strength. If you are suffering from insecurity around here, and then we say comrades power on the streets, there will be attention. Look at, for an example, maybe we can say Dandora. It was the most insecure area to ever live in, right? But the tension that was put in by the government, the cases are now down, right? So, as the students, we have a right. That is all I can say. We have a right. But, get me, but before going for such a demonstration, or maybe such a decision, we have to try all methods possible, right? Yes. So that is my answer. Yes, thank you.
All right, all right. So that brings us to the end of the panel questions. So thank you, everyone, for having the patience to sit through that. As we had indicated earlier, we shall now move to a segment, and we want to do it quickly because of time, where we allow you, the audience, to put questions to the candidates. I believe we shall also respond to questions from those of us who are online. So we will ask the media team to get questions from our virtual audience. So we shall have 5 questions from this side and 5 questions from this side. So who's going to be taking the mic around? All right, so the mic is right there. So raise your hand. I will indicate you, and you will ask your question. Keep it short and sweet. So, Mr. Moses.
Yes, thank you so much. This question goes to all the presidential candidates. So my name is Moses Muita. So, Mr. President, you've said that you are going to use unique strategies in addressing the student issues, which may be to say the other government or the outgoing government has failed to use. What other strategies, taking into consideration that both of you have been delegates? Being a delegate means you had different schools that you are representing. We elected you as schools, maybe from journalism or from law school, to go and represent us. Do you believe you failed us by letting the government or the student council that was there do what it did? They did not consider the needs of the students. If you believe that they failed us, say yes and explain what you'll do unique. If you believe they have done what we sent them to do, say you believe in that, say yes, and explain to us. Thank you.
Mr. Moses, to clarify your question, Mr. Moses, your question to the candidates is whether they believed the previous regime has failed, and if
yes.
they believe so, to give reasons why.
Yes.
Keep
if
it
you
that
don't
precise.
believe, give reasons why you don't believe.
All right, keep it that precise. So, Mr. Dominic, let's do this. Let's allow them to answer one question each. So we'll take 5 from this side, then 5 from this side, so that they don't forget all the questions by the time they are done. All right. So, Mr. Dennis.
Thank you so much. I will begin by saying, that the previous council, I cannot call it a successful regime. I cannot call it that. Yeah. So that one is a failed regime, right? Because as far as student involvement is concerned.
Excuse me. Pardon me. Guys, we had an understanding. You know, if you'd like the mic, all you have to do is put up your hand, and after he's done answering, you can ask the next question. All right? All right? Do not address the other members of the audience directly. Guys, come on, you shouldn't have to say this sort of thing 4 times in the same sitting. Thank you.
So, I was a delegate last year. And as a delegate, we were promised one thing, that once we get into the council, those were their words, that once we get into the council, we are going to ensure that delegates, they form a Congress. That is what they told us, right? So we waited, but nothing was done. You know, the main aim of that Congress, it is making everything vibrant, making communication between the students and amongst ourselves is easier, right? So I can quote them as a failed government because I remember one day I went to that office of the student council and I tried to remind them that you promised us something. But what they did, they ended up mocking me. That is what they did. And I swear, that is what they did. So, what I say, I cannot have very good feelings about that council. They are a failed regime. So, in this council, we are not lying to our delegates. When we say that we are forming a Congress, we mean it, right? And quote me when I say this. The meaning of a Congress, the main aim, just like I said, it is all about communication, where people pass their needs, right? So all the information that shall be channeled via the Congress shall be considered. So, because of time, let me stop there. Thank you.
Again, guys, again, let me remind us, let us maintain order. Just put your hand up. The mic will be brought to you, and you'll have the opportunity to ask your question. Let's take one from the back, since we've taken one from the front by Mr. Peter. So, Mr. Bramwell. Mr. Bramwell at the back.
Thank you so much.
Keep your question, please, short and precise.
Okay, my name is Bramwell. First question goes to all candidates. I understand you are... How is youth leadership unique factor from other types of leadership? That's number one. Number two, the second question goes to Dennis. I was among the other delegates of last council, and those people that promised us was Gideon and Dominic. They were them. Okay, number three.
Mr. Gideon.
Number three.
Excuse me, guys.
Number three.
Guys. Excuse me. You guys. Quiet, please. Quiet, please. Guys, let me remind you again that we are live on YouTube, yeah? That's not the image we're trying to cut, you guys. Let's not do that kind of thing.
Question two goes
Calm. Bramwell.
Question two goes to Dennis. You've said that the allegations said to you are false. They may be true or false, isn't it? The allegation of the soda purchase during the Talanta event. Number two, petition. What was the need of you writing an apology letter to the administration? My friend, you cannot become an angel overnight and expect us to respect your integrity. It cannot happen.
All right, guys. I understand. I understand this is the nature of politics. But, okay, all right. Mr. Dominic, we will come to you. We'll come to you. Let us allow... Does anyone from the back want to help the presidential candidates answer these questions? So let the presidential candidate, their leaders, they're more than capable of explaining themselves. Let them answer the questions for themselves. Mr. Gideon, we'll come to you. Gideon. All right, guys. Dino. Please just ask them to come down and tell them to say something.
Thank you, Mr. Bramwell. I would just request the students from both teams to please come down so that we can make sound comments. Thank you. So, you have a question about, and you have mentioned names, Dominic and Gideon, right? And you say that you are also a delegate. So, if you remember very well, Dominic was not the president. He was not the one who was vying for the president. Kipyegon was not the one who was vying for the president. They were just supporters who were told and promised by that government that whatever that we are looking forward to do, once we join to the council, we are going to do it. Onderi was just the director of entertainment, right? Please, allow me to finish. So, saying that they made promises, that is something that it is out of their hands. The ones who made promises was the president. The president was the only person who had the manifesto. So please do not be misled by anybody here. So all I can say, yeah, there were allegations about the soda event. There were allegations. Yeah. During the Talanta Fest, I was given and called upon. Yeah, I was called upon to serve. I was given that opportunity to purchase the sodas for the students during the Talanta event. So what really happened, and I'm speaking this because I am a leader, I'm speaking this because I'm also a Christian. Trust me, do not believe in false information. So, you are just going to give me, please, give me around 5 minutes to explain this so that it may not come again in the future. Please, 5 minutes. So, this is what happened. After I was given that opportunity to supply sodas, the sodas that were meant to be supplied were 10 crates. And since they were not enough, the value itself was, it was 2,500. Meant to, maybe if you do your own calculations, 2,500, how many sodas can you purchase? How many? So that number was the only one that was given by the finance office, right? So we made a conversation with the president, and he said, I'm going to converse with the dean to ensure that the number is going to be increased. So I waited. The next day, that was the previous day before the Talanta show. The next day, I was sent that 2,500 shillings, and I made a call to the president. And he said, wait until I make a communication with the dean, and I'll get back to you. That is what I did. And that continued over and over until it was evening. So it was until I came to school, and I met the president, and he said, in Kiswahili, deno chill nitakupanga. So as we continued, there were other sodas that were purchased in bottles. So the time for supply began, and they were supplied, but they were never enough. And I went back to the president and asked him, seriously, now the time is up. What do we do next? So he said, hawa, let me say in Kiswahili, hawa wenye wamepata, wacha, wako na bahati. Hawa wengine achana na wao. Those were his words. And I tell you for truth. So, that was, and he added and said, hiyo pesa, iweke vizuri, nitakwambia venye tutafanya. That is what he said. That is what he said. Yeah. Yeah. So please, calm down, please. Calm down, please calm down. Please. Please. Yeah, that was a corrupt government. And I can tell you, yeah. So, what I can tell you, that was a question of integrity. I was so angry, and please calm down. I was so angry, it was a question of integrity, and after that, I met with the treasurer, and she can confirm. And we made the discussion. We had a discussion with her. Yeah, and I can confirm that. So that is what really happened. I purchased the sodas at La Sala, 50 of them, and supplied the money. And then later on, please let me finish. Allow me to finish. Allow me, please. Calm down, please. Allow me to finish. So later on, when the fest was over, then the guy comes, the president, and says, hiyo pesa, bado iko. Those were the words. So then, that was the end of the story. Now later on, the same council that did that, they came and made allegations against me and saying that I made a setup. That I made a setup so that I may be the next president, so that they can be impeached and all that. So I'm not up for such a propaganda, and I'm speaking because I'm a Christian. That is what really happened. Yes, calm down, please. The other question, it is, Bramwell, you said that I wrote an apology letter, but you don't have the background of the reason why. Let me tell you why. There was a time that we had one of our students, Ian Shem. He was attacked, right? And we were angry as the students. Is that true? So I wrote in the student forum, and I made a comment and said that the security issue is a problem. And there was a comment that was also made in a thread by one of the previous SGs. And he said that this will always continue over and over. And my comment was just exactly. And that is why I was called by the office of the dean to explain why, I wrote that comment exactly. So, please do not make any allegations against me that I wrote an apology letter because that I was sending sodas and all that. Please have the information. Information is power, and what the students of Nazarene need is integrity. Integrity. We need good leaders. Yeah. So thank you very much.
Guys. We will add Mr. Onsarigo the same amount of time. We have added Mr. Dennis to respond to the question by Bramwell. Again, let us maintain decorum as the candidates are answering the questions. I am running out of words to use to say the same thing. Kindly, guys, everybody is going to have an opportunity to have themselves heard. We're an institution of higher learning. Let us maintain decorum. Dennis has clearly explained himself, so he's asked his supporters to calm down. So kindly, if you're not going to at least respect the function, respect your leader. Mr. Onsarigo.
Mr. Bramwell, I think youth leadership is different from the other kinds of leadership. Because it's, number one thing, it's led by the youths. And And I think youths, the nature of the people who are youthful, we are very volatile. And the way a youth leader should lead other students, I think we should be, any person who takes the role of a youth leader should be a person of integrity, a person who should be able to guide the fellow students, because the influence that we impart to other students can be good or bad. So I think youth leadership is, number one, first, unique because it's youthful. Number two, because it's vibrant, and also the youth, we possess amount of huge potential that can be tapped into. And if we are led by good leaders, this is something that we can maximize on, and potentially make progress in our lives and also transform the world. Thank you.
Right, so we'll take a question from the front now, since we took one from the back. We have 3 more questions left here. Keep your question short and precise. Keep your question short and precise. So we'll go into the front. We're going to come to you, the guy in the white t-shirt, Mr. Kimurgur. Please, short and precise.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kimurgur Brian, and I am the one who wrote. I was the chief petitioner during the last petition. So I'm surprised by the comment. I think they are misplaced. But let me make a bit of corrections to them. The last... Okay. So, so the last regime were found to be in abuse of office and appropriation of funds. And we have the evidence over here. So my question to you is, my question to both candidates is, which criteria are you going to use to ensure that the people that you're going to appoint to several dockets, such as directors and maybe committees, are going to be competent and are up to task? Because previously, we've had guys who they know nothing, they have no clue about what they have to do. Their work is just to shout kiongozi, kiongozi, and following each other left, right, center. So you're left wondering. You're left wondering. When you go to the office of the... Bana, shut up, Bana. When you go to the office of... Fresher shouting at me, Bana, shut up. So when you go to the office of the... When you go to the office of the student council, you find just people just sitting. You find students just sitting over there. You don't understand what is happening. So my second question is, how are you going to utilize the office meant for students to address student issues? How are you going to utilize that office to make sure it delivers services to students and not just for occupants, for people to just go and sit over there? Thank you, that's my question.
All right, as the presidential candidates come to answer, I'm being informed that there is an apparent bias on my part, since I am not directing any members of the female gender to ask questions. In my defense, I've not seen anyone. Has anyone raised their hands and I've failed to select them?
No. We have those females standing. The females standing.
All right. You had not raised your hand. Right, so I believe I am cleared of those charges myself, yeah? I don't have to write an apology letter. There's an announcement from the sound guys. All right, there's an announcement from the sound technicians. When you're given the mic to speak, kindly hold it there. I'm holding it, because if you hold it from the bottom, you will interfere with the frequency, and there'll be breakages, and we will not be able to hear you. So Mr. Dennis.
Salaton.
Yes.
If I may ask, I think because of time factor, what we can do, we're also helping you. You are the moderators, but we can share in a way, right? So I think maybe we can have like 3 questions asked at once, so that they can come and answer, instead of us having 1 question. Will take a lot of time. Right. Yeah, I think that one can work. If it's right, we can continue. Is it? Yeah. Tafadhali. Yeah.
3 at a time.
Yeah.
Right, so we'll take two more.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll take two more. We'll take one from Dominic because it seems he's a lead supporter, so that we calm the people down.
Yeah.
From the other group, who do you want to talk?
No.
Okay,
good.
all right. Okay, so we'll take a question from Dominic.
Yes.
Then we'll take a question from Okech. Then, because that we have done that in agreement, we will move to this side. Our agreement was for 5 questions. All right?
Okay.
Sawa sawa.
Thank you. For the sake of my documents, let them be here. Yes, I like that. Thank you. First of all, allow me to correct some things which were lied here. Comrades, I want to tell you one thing. Most of us, we are exiting this university. But you people are going to remain here. And if you are not keen, you will remain to suffer the way you're suffering. Yes! Tulia, mukiona wenye wanapiga kelele. Yeah. This is the director for clubs and societies. That's for sports. These are for sports. You can see, these are people who have not worked, but they want to give you people of their choice. Take care. They want to give you. Yes. So, comrades, as always, comrades, you must keep quiet. You must keep quiet. You must. Yani, you must keep quiet. You must. They must keep quiet. You must. You must. You must for me to continue. I'm the one speaking.
Guys, Domi.
Yes. You must. You must.
Guys, Domi a sec. Guys, we have said to remedy this problem of two opposing factions speaking over one another.
Yes.
These guys have their representative to speak for them.
Yes.
Okech is here. He will get the podium as well. He will have the opportunity to ask the question.
Good.
So why can't we maintain order and let him talk? Okech will have his time.
Okay.
Right?
The first thing, security. In case people are going to continue that way, those few goons, you must get them out. Because these comrades, they want to listen. The first thing, comrades, let me tell you, I've been in this university for the last 4 years.
Me too.
And these are the same things that we have gone through. And if you are not keen, people are going to suffer. Let us exit knowing that you have left a good legacy. First, Kodeko. If you know Kodeko, somebody by the name Kodeko. Kodeko is the current captain of Taekwondo. Derek, stop lying to the comrades. Thank you. Kodeko is the current captain of Taekwondo. Next. The second thing, I have no issue. Okay, comrades, tutulie pale. Those people must keep quiet. The second thing, yesterday, there are comrades who are delegates. They were 13 in number. They were called at Toledo. They were bought chips and soda. When you stand here to tell us that comrades, delegates cannot be manipulated. They cannot be manipulated. You must tell us.
Produce the evidence.
You must tell us. You must tell us. You must tell us.
Please, the moderator.
You must tell us. The second thing.
Are you done?
The second thing. Because let me just finish because I don't want to come back again. Okay. So
how many minutes?
Okay.
Guys.
Another thing.
Guys.
Come and beat me.
Guys.
These are facts.
Listen.
Leo tunawanyoa. Tuwanyoe tusiwanyoe. Tunawanyoa hapa. Yes. Next. Comrades, I want to tell you, as a matter of fact, let me tell you, I'm the person, I was behind the current council. Let me tell you, comrades, since we did our work, we mobilized delegates and they vote in this council in numbers. One mistake of our leaders, and I want to request you leaders, whoever is going to win, because I know one is going to win, another one is going to win by magic or lose. Let me tell you one thing. When these people get into power, they tend to change. I, Onderi, as a man of change, I cannot stand, I cannot work with a team which is not ready to work with the comrades. That's why I had to resign. Let me tell you, leaders, let me tell you, comrades, if I did a mistake by resigning, I was not, Ian, relax. Relax.
Are we listening to stories
Relax.
here?
Relax. You
We're
must
not listening
relax.
to stories here.
You
We are
must
not listening
relax.
to stories here.
It's my turn, you must relax. Comrades. Comrades. Comrades, let me tell you, these allegations, there's a petition here. This petition, comrades, this petition was against the current council. And let me tell you, come beat me.
Dominic, that's enough. 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 You've not asked a question. Dennis, hajauliza swali. Hajauliza swali.
We want to set, I was nation. We want to set a listen to me. Let me answer.
It's okay.
We want facts. Let me say my facts. We want facts, Salaton. We want facts. We want facts.
Listen, guys.
You must allow me to conclude my facts.
Do me, listen. Listen, Giddy. Listen. Guys, we cannot physically take the mic from anyone on stage.
Yes.
But what you're saying is, Mr. Dominic,
yes,
you are now campaigning, you're not asking a question.
No.
Listen, Domi.
Salaton,
listen.
no.
Listen.
No, Salaton, no.
Listen. What we are going to do, Domi, you'll have 30 seconds to ask a question, at which time we will give Mr. Okech the same 5 minutes you've taken, and we will also give him an extra 30 minutes to ask a question.
Comrades,
that is fair. I believe that is fair.
Okay, Salaton.
But Dominic, please, nobody will physically take the mic from you.
Okay,
don't put
you
us
must
in that
allow
position.
me. Comrades,
30 seconds to ask a question.
Nifungulie mic. Comrades,
30 seconds.
Today ni siku ya kuambiana ukweli. These comrades are ready to listen to the facts. We must allow this. Salaton, you were their lawyer when you came the petition. So tafadhali allow me, in case this one, it came against two people. Tafadhali allow us,
Mr. Dominic, we have been extremely fair.
To bring facts.
Please ask a question to the presidential candidates.
We must bring facts.
Please ask a question to the presidential candidate. Guys, if we have sustained chaos, I will exercise power that is given to me and will call off the debate. And that will be that.
We can call it off.
What we do, you have 30 seconds to ask a question, Mr. Dominic. You're a leader.
How can you give me?
Kindly act. You've been speaking for 5 minutes. We are asking you 30 seconds to ask a question to the presidential candidates, failure to which we will disband it and people can campaign at their own time.
Okay. Comrades, nifungulie mic. Comrades, it's a matter of facts. Delegates, you have the will of the comrades at hand. I want to tell you that I'm talking to delegates. You have the will of the comrades at hand. We have suffered, and I want to tell you, I'm part of that council. That's why I resigned. If you want to listen to why people are not comfortable, why this council has been impeached, then you have to listen. Because if we can't listen, then we're going to fall into the same mistake. But comrades, let me tell you this.
Sir Dominic,
my friend,
your time is up.
You're a fresher. You're a fresher, you know nothing. You know nothing. You know nothing.
Please kill his mic. The time is up.
Seconds.
I gave you 30 seconds, bro. You have finished them. Kindly have your seat. Dominic. I've been extremely fair to you. I've been extremely fair to you. I'll allow Mr. Okech to ask his question. After that, this segment is becoming too chaotic. So I'll allow the parties to go do their campaigns elsewhere. I'll invite the Secretary Generals immediately after this question, and we will finish this segment. If you guys cannot control yourselves and behave like leaders, we'll have to do it for you.
Who are not
this side, we're not going to take any questions from there. Bye. Listen.
Be fair.
Listen, I have been extremely fair to you. I've given you more than enough time. We are going to go to the Secretary Generals. If we cannot agree to that order, like grown-ups, we will simply wake up and leave. All right? So, Mr. Okech, please finish your point. If we cannot...
seconds.
Give me that Mr. Onderi, you've had your time.
Give me that
Kindly
seconds.
have your seat. Security,
Give me
please
that seconds.
help me. Let him take his seat.
Give me that seconds.
Mr. Kemboi, please escort him to his seat. We've given him more than enough time.
Give me that seconds.
He's not going to speak anymore. You're going to have Mr. Okech speak. After that, we'll go to the Secretary Generals.
Give me that
Kindly
seconds.
escort him to his seat.
Watch and pay 30 seconds.
Escort him to sit.
Let me stand here because this one was standing here.
Okay, sir.
Now, I think we have to agree on something. You are students. We have given you a platform to express your views. You are online. We are watching you in our offices. That's the reason why we came here. Kipiakon, sit down. You know, by shouting does not hand any votes to anyone. Why don't you be calm? Someone makes a statement. Don't give this man very hard time. We need, you just make your point. When you make a point, don't address other people. And also you need to also be firm on the issues that are being asked. People should not go personal. I thought you never came here to discuss the former regime. You came here to sell your own things. No, just, you better listen. You never came here to discuss the former regime. You came to sell your manifesto. So for you to come, for you to come and discuss my counsel in the presence of our students is completely misplaced. It's completely misplaced. If you have no agenda, close this debate and go home. But I will not allow, please listen, I will not allow you to come and discuss the people that are in the office. Sell your idea and make it very clear to the student. And you are home and dry. Why should you attack people, personal issues, cases that you've been having, asking him the issues that he doesn't know about, apology, what? Ask him what he will do. And address issues that are being addressed. Otherwise, let me tell you, honestly, from where I sit, I feel disappointed. Because all of us have left the office to come. The chaplain is here, I'm here. Others are following online. You are alive. You didn't know you are alive. Please, can we be a bit orderly a little bit? You don't need to come here and cause sin. Wait until you are called. If you are not called, sit down. If you are told to sit down, sit down. And please, we are following you, all of us online. Yes, I don't want to say more than that.
Thank you for your protection. Thank you for your protection, Reverend. I was beginning to sweat. Maybe, Rev, you can even organize a soda for me so that my mouth stops being so dry. So anyway, in accordance to what we had discussed, I'm going to allow Mr. Okech to put 2 questions to Mr. Dennis, 2 questions to Mr. Derek. Mr. Okech, you're in the council. Please be a leader. Do not incite just rowdiness in the room. I have just little swift left and I have a term paper to write. So, and then after that, we're going to move to the...
Dennis, in the words of Jack, issues, come clear on integrity. Don't talk of allegations here because we have substantive evidence that proves what are being mentioned here. So don't just give us stories. Give us what is there on the allegations you are talking of and provide evidence. Don't look into the papers. In any case, papers can be edited. The question is this. You have talked of you were given the contract by the president of the student council. come clear on the integrity question of yourself. Are you the supplier of the school? That is why you are given the tender. Yes. To Derek, I was given 2 questions, right? Thank you. Derek, and maybe the comrade interest and maybe the other positions that you have held in the past to deal with this menace of serving the interest of those who are your foot soldiers. Thank you so much.
All right, so we'll start with Mr. Dennis. You give your responses. Kindly limit yourself to 2 minutes. Then we move to Mr. Derek. Then we move to the Secretary Generals.
Thank you very much for that question. I mean those questions. And question number 1 was through my time, if I have grown myself, and how I shall grow others, and how I shall be capable of returning the spirit of comradeship. Mark the word, spirit of comradeship. What is the meaning of the spirit? The spirit. That anxiousness to express yourself as a comrade. That you feel that I belong somewhere, right? Returning the spirit of comradeship. It is when I stand here and say, comrades power! Comrades power! And that should be the response, power, because you really believe that this is the kind of a spirit you want. You want to grow yourself. You want your points. You want to be heard. That is the point. So you are asking how I have grown myself. Personally, if I compare myself during the times when I was back then in my high school, when I was joining Form 1, and now I can see I've really grown. I was not like this. It is through the mercies of God. So I'm also here so that I can also help others grow, right? So by the platforms and by the suggestions that you make, we are represented by the Congress, and the Congress are the delegates. And in my manifesto that we have seen that I have articulated for that part of lobbying for the formation of maybe the introduction of a new website. That is how we grow ourselves. Speak up. Always feel free to say what you have in your heart. We have students here who are really suffering. You don't have anything in your pocket. You have no idea where you're going to get your rent, right? But it is a high time to use this chance to express our feelings. It is not all about, we have had cases in the past where we have friends betraying other friends and selling their friends to other evil enemies, right? So this is the time. If you spot and see that something is wrong, please speak up, right? That is the spirit of comradeship. So, because of time, I go to question number 2. It is all about integrity. Mr. Okech, I think your question was based on a 2-person background. And we have just said that all those matters are about saying that this person did this person did that. This is not the time to discuss what we have done and not done in the past. So I can say and assure you that I am a man of integrity. That is all I can tell you. So, you have said that if I was the one who supplied the sodas during the event, if I was a supplier, am I the supplier of the school, as you quote? No, I am not. I'm just a student like you who was called by the council. Please come and assist in this, in helping us in the management of the event, right? Yeah, so I'm not the supplier, that is all I can tell you. But it is a high time for the students of Nazarene to get involved in everything that is happening here on campus. So, because of time, let me end there. Thank you.
So we'll give Mr. Onsarigo 3 minutes as well to respond to the question. After that, I will be inviting the treasurers first, then the Secretary Generals to give opening statements.
Okay, your question on my outstanding character, or I think traits. I think I'm analytical in nature. It's who I am. It's the way I handle situations, and this is a trait that most people don't possess. But the fact that I have it, it has enabled me to identify problems like the ones that I've elaborated in my manifesto. And these problems have also developed solutions for them, solutions that are practical, they are sustainable and implementable. And also, I think also at the beginning of this session, somebody asked me one of my flaws. I think being analytical in nature obviously will make you be poor in time management, because a person who is analytical will analyze a thing for a longer period before deciding on what to do. So, and on the question on managing ego, and it was ego and what? Yeah, I answered that initially, that we need leaders who will be able to lead with courage and passion rather than ego. And I think for me, being in the position of a leader, a student leader in the student council, ego is something that will come with it. It's something that we all of us, all humans, are inborn with it. But I also believe in something that always, most scholars always say, that leaders are servants. And for me, this position is all about service, and and I seek to serve as a servant rather than a president. I seek to serve, because leadership is all about service. And also, let me chip in on something that my brother said here on students suffering. Yeah, I'm aware that some students lack money, some go without food. And I think so far we have a SOSI which is meant to cater for the students' fees. So it's aimed at helping students academically. But what I think me and my team will do, being aware of this situation that comrades are going through, we'll develop another fund that will be able to help students who are needy. And I think we'll do it in a fair process to identify students who need help, who need funding, to be able to get food and other minor expenses. Thank you.
Does he have time left? All right, so your vice will not be speaking since you have left only 10 seconds on the clock. Mr. Kimurgor has reminded me of a question of his that went unanswered that I believe is important. So I'll put it to the presidential candidates right before I invite the treasurers to speak for 3 minutes each, and the Secretary Generals to speak for 5 minutes each, after which we will have a vote of thanks from the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Mr. Esther Gitau, and we will bring this lovely, lovely event to an end. So the question that Mr. Kimurgor had that went unanswered, guys, if we could keep quiet so that we finish, is to Mr. Dennis and Mr. Derek. What criteria are you going to use to appoint the various directors, the Director of Entertainment, the Director of Academics, those various positions that exist in your cabinet? What criteria are you going to use to appoint them? I'll give you each 45 seconds to respond, starting with Mr. Derek, and then we will move to the treasurers.
As I said earlier, we understand the job description that for the job we are seeking. So, and this is one of the problems that we've identified. People are appointed to serve in positions that they are not competent in. They also lack the stamina, the vigor, and the skills to serve. So for us and my team, the solution to this problem is to send an email to all the students to make it public that we need people to serve in the student council. And after that, after people have applied, we'll vet them, we'll form a vetting panel, And it will be fair. It will not be a vetting panel led by students. We'll also include the office of the Dean of Students, because he's the one in charge of student welfare. So, Kimurgura, I think I've answered that. Thank you.
So Mr. Dennis is taking 1 minute. You'll have 1 minute to respond. Kindly stick to the time.
Thank you so much. So, in my government, during my time, obviously, we are aware of the pending elections in the country. And when we say that I am becoming the deputy president, or maybe I want to be the president of Kenya, we have maybe, please, back there, tafadhali. Yes, thank you. So, I'm just giving an example. We have the DP who is yearning to become the president of Kenya, and we have their supporters. So, there is no way you can have your supporters and just leave them like that, okay? So, my criteria for appointment, those who have supported me, I will ensure that at least I interview them and see if they are qualified for those positions. That is what I am intending to do. And also, I have also been approached by some students in this school, and they have said that they want to also represent the students in the student council. I'm also considering that. So if you want to serve, you can just approach me, and I'm going to vet you. And then after that, you know, the most important thing is all about character. I cannot bring in strangers only to come and mess everything up. So that is my plan. Thank you.
So I believe at this point we've come to the end of the presidential debate. It has been a long ride. It's been full of ups and downs, but I believe it's been very engaging. We've been able to hear two very different ideologies from the two leaders. So I believe as a student population, you are now much more informed about what these candidates stand for. So at this point, I'd like all of us to just give a round of applause to both of the candidates as we ask them to disembark the stage so that we invite the SGs and the treasurers. So Mr. Dennis, Ms. Lorraine, Mr. Onsarigo, Ms. Audrey, thank you very much. Let me have the treasurers come on. Let me have the treasurers, please, come to the stage. Ms. Amy Onderi, Ms. Natasha Munuve, please. If you're vying to be treasurer, please come to the stage. All right. So I'll begin with Ms. Natasha. Ms. Natasha, if you could use this podium. So kindly introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What are you studying? Tell us why you want to be the next treasurer. We will give you a total of 3 minutes. Please, let's be very strict with time. Let's not go overboard with time.
Okay, good evening. My name is Natasha Mulwa. I am an aspiring treasurer in the next student council. And I would like to...
Ms. Natasha, just a minute. At the back, kindly, if we could allow Ms. Natasha to speak.
Yes, as I was saying, I would like to highlight on what Ms. Ashley talked about. According to what you said about the associate one, the associate part in my manifesto, it's mainly about going back to what was promised to us and continuing with it. It's not about bringing something new, yes. So I feel like that is the main part about associate and helping other students, and it is a very good organization in the school. I would like to wish you all a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much for observing time, Ms. Natasha. Ms. Amy? Oh, sir, that's okay. You can just come.
Okay. Niacheni niongee Kiswahili.
Allow me to express myself.
Guys, Kiswahili is an official language of the country. It is recognized. She's within her rights to speak Swahili, please.
I know.
Please go ahead.
Okay, I cannot promise you all that I'll create heaven on a heaven that I have not yet entered, but I will try to my level best to work with the council that will be voted in, and working with the administration and with my fellow students into delivering. Thank you.
Good evening, all. Mora Amy is my name, a third-year law student taking law. Drawing my example from the life of Jesus Christ, let's look at the story. Who is Jesus Christ? Jesus Christ is the Son of God who came to earth and who came to die for our sins. Jesus Christ went down from heaven, came to die for our sins. He led the disciples, came to earth. He took into the service of leadership. In his leadership, we see that Jesus Christ healed the blind. He took part in the service. What do we draw from the story of Jesus Christ? From Jesus Christ, we can draw the virtue of humility. As a leader, you need to be humble. There are many students in Nazarene, but the email was sent to a lot of students, but only a few came out to show their interest in leadership. Drawing from the story of Uriah came out, went forward in the battle, and he came out. So I appreciate all the students who took up this role, and I look forward to working with all of you. As a treasurer, I won't make any promise, but I'll seek to fight for the spirit of comradeship. Recently, when we look at the cafeterias, looking at Evolution and La Sala has been closed for the most of the time, and students have been struggling, especially the boarders, they have been struggling to where they are supposed to get their meals. The next leadership, I'll take this as the main thing that will be into consideration. Yeah, thank you. I look forward to working with all of you.
So I'll give a round of applause to the candidates vying for treasurer. I hope you got all of their names so that you know who to vote for. So those are the candidates for treasurer. Now this next group of people are a very important part in the organization of the Student Council. These are the people who want to represent you as Secretary Generals. As is common with every other institution in the world, Secretary Generals are the first line of defense, right? That's why a lot of the time, it is Secretary Generals that get into trouble. These are supposed to be formidable individuals, powerful characters, and very, very good leaders, I believe. So I'll invite Mr. Valentine Ochieng first. He'll have 5 minutes to talk to you about himself and why he should be your next Secretary General.
Comrades, wisdom. Comrades, wisdom. I always believe in wisdom. Comrades are no longer academic dwarfs. We are not academic orphans. We are wise. Automatically, by having the wisdom, we have the power within us. One of the great philosophers once said that, yesterday I was clever to change the world, but today I am so wise and I'm changing everything. It is tension after tension. Empty debates will always make the loudest noise. First and foremost, allow me to congratulate you all for attending this exercise, which indeed marks the transformation of this, our institution. In line with this, allow me to introduce my today's debate motto, which is, whatever begins at Jenigan transforms the whole corners of African Nazarene University. For the benefit of interest and all in attendance, I am Valentine Ucheng Angwango, a third-year student undertaking procurement and supply chain management. I am not only aspiring to be the next Secretary General of the school, but also it is evident by the cheering and everything that I am able, trustworthy, and equal to the task as the next Secretary General of this great school. Chapter 4, under the Article 11.4 of the ANUSO Constitution, accords me my mandates as the Secretary General, but among them all, I accord being a link between the ANU Student Council and other student organizations as my primary role, enhancing my goal of service to the comrades. I'm not that person of repeating on agendas or points, but allow me to give you a walk through my trusted vision document, or rather the manifesto. I'll not explain every detail, but I'll just give and highlight. Footballers, you know what highlights means. We summarize the 90 minutes of the game into 5 or 6 minutes. The rallying call of my manifesto is by comrades and for the comrades. Fellows have stepped in front here saying this and that, and I'll not repeat what they've said, but just to highlight, under my reign, I promise you people that the insecurity that we face from day to day, I will work together with my council to ensure that a solution is offered to this. But before we reach that solution, I want to ask you, my people, that security begins with you. Security begins with you. Stop moving around at odd hours. Stop moving around at odd hours. Let's be at the residential places at the correct time. Yesterday night, at around 10 p.m., I was moving from Mana to Kona. I met 3 security officers patrolling there. I met 3 security officers patrolling there. And I want to assure you that this should not only happen on only one day, but it should be a daily basis thing. Time is not on my side, but these are my highlights. We have the ANU food aid. We have the innovation and the entrepreneurship within the school. We also have the empowerment of the delegates, but also the empowerment of the students. I know of the hiking prices at the 2 cafeterias we have. I know of the hiking prices at the 2 cafeterias. And it is not because of the economic situation we have outside there, but it is because the school has decided that they only outsource the food materials from those markets which are outside the school. We have individuals here, the agriculturalists, they can provide us with this, and the prices will still remain the same. I ought to have continued, but because of time, I wish you all the best. And all I ask, we are all students, regardless of us being competitors. We are only political ideologies in different aspects. Let's not fight each other. Let's forever remain students. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Benson.
Comrade power. Comrade power. Comrade TB. Okay, let me start. Let me first start by correcting my colleague, since it means that he has no access to the Constitution. He does not understand the Constitution well. The Secretary General he is promising something that is supposed to be delivered by the President. I'm sorry for that. I, as Benson Urugendo, I'm a man of short ones and brief and precise. I have one manifesto. I don't promise something that I'm not going to deliver, you see? Okay, in my manifesto is all about communication. In communication, I'm going to, although we have current forums, I am not quite impressed with the work that is done there. There is a resolution of the forums ends on the student growth. We are supposed to make the student forums have robust conversations. The other thing, at the student council, we will the communication will be a key tool in our leadership era, and this will do it by doing student kamokojis. This is a platform whereby student we will give student the position to address their issues, and then we take them to the student. Because of time, I leave to end there, since I said earlier I'm short and precise. So thank you very much.
All right, a round of applause for the candidates vying for, no. Okay. So that brings us to the end of this auspicious occasion. We've listened to all the aspirants. Thank you for your time. To the audiences that have been joining us from YouTube, thank you for remaining with us throughout the program. I will now finally invite the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Ms. Esther Gitau, to give a vote of thanks and to maybe say something in. Esther, you're not a politician, please don't take more than 2 minutes. Then we can close this function.
Thank you.
The bench of panelists, aspiring candidates, those who have remained here, my fellow students, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. My name is Esther Wamboi Gitau, the current chairperson of the Electoral Commission, and I stand before you this time to thank you all for making a point to be in this forum that the Office of the Dean of Students has granted us so that we get to hear what the aspiring candidates have in store for us and to have an exposition of what their manifestos entail. Secondly, I would like to thank the commission. The commissioners that are here, kindly be upstanding. They have refused to stand. Kindly be upstanding. Yes, thank you so much for coordinating and working together with Afrinas, also for working together with the Debate Society. Members of the Debate Society, kindly be upstanding. Yes, and also for working together with Afrinas. They have been upstanding the whole time. Kindly clap for them. And also for working together with the Law Association of African Nazarene University, Mr. Salaton representing them. I think he has worked out. I would also like to thank our security. The gentlemen at the back, we can clap for them for being with us the whole time. I believed they have not manhandled us, and they have accorded us the security that we needed. And lastly, I would like to thank each and every one, you and I, for being here and to witness that indeed we can have a democratic society, and it starts here in the institutions before we even take it out to the country. This is just to remind you that the candidates' election shall be this coming Friday, the 8th of April 2022. And lastly, to inform you and to assure you that the Commission will facilitate a free, fair, and credible election. With that being said, I wish you all a fruitful and blessed evening.
Usually after the vote of thanks, we go, we're done. We're all finished. All right, prayer. Let me welcome Mr. Dominic to end on a note of peace by offering us a word of prayer.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm a man of peace and integrity. So thank you so much. Whatever has happened here, comrades, siasa usiwahi chukua kwa roho. Sahi mtu naweza pigana juu ya Derek ama Dennis, kesho tutawapata pamoja. That's the thing. Siasa usiwahi weka kwa roho tafadhali. Never, never. Yeah, so we want to pray. That's the thing, we must pray, bana. Comrade, we tell God one statement, word na tunamaliza, bana. Yes. Otherwise, God is seeing the winner and the loser. Let's pray. Let us pray. Almighty Father, you come and share this time, Father. Oh, sorry. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Almighty Father, you come and share this time. We thank you for the gift of life, Father. We thank you, Father, for the peaceful debate that we have had, Father. And Almighty, we see and we know that you know the person who is going to win and the person who is going to lose, Father. Almighty, I ask you, you've seen all the goons. Father, may you ashame them. Father, may you never give them peace, Father, and ensure that they are out of the peace of the comrades, and ensure that the comrades have peace because they are going to win, Father. Father, let the students win. Let not the masters win, because that's where you have servant leadership. We ask all this through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Liz, I hope you have photos of me.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
You're welcome. It's been good. I had one of the photos. No, I had one of them.